She pulled the sleeve up, let the record show. Wait, which one?
What?
Is this the TV one or is that?
That, because it's flying Pokemon. Wait, no, do it again. God, look.
Oh, you do it.
I can't. Wait, okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I can't not smile now.
Honestly, you do it. That was funny. She been addicted to drugs for 37 years. This is our story.
What is that?
May the good Lord be with you down every road you roam. And may sunshine and happiness surround you when you're far from home. And may you grow to be proud, dignified and true. And do unto others as you'd have done to you. Be courageous and be brave, and in my heart you'll always stay forever young, forever young. May good fortune be with you, may your guiding light be strong. Build a stairway to heaven with a prince or a vagabond. And may you never love in vain, and in my heart you will always remain.
My childhood, I wouldn't go back and change anything about it. It was perfect. Having an older sister that I did fight with all the time, but like, that's what siblings do. But having an older sister, shared a room with her for 13 years. That was fun because it meant like having somebody that would want to be doing the same things as me was great because Dawson kind of, when he was really little, just kind of did his own thing. But now I can very safely say he's the coolest brother anybody could possibly have. My parents were great. They definitely brainwashed me since birth to know and love soccer, which I'm okay with that. They made tons of sacrifices for us, took us to everything. Church every single Sunday. Maybe not Wednesday nights because we had soccer practice Wednesday nights. Every single tournament all over the country they'd take me to. Soccer has just been the greatest joy and the most fun thing. It's just my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to talk about with my parents. Every time there's a soccer game on TV, I'm texting my dad about it. If there's big games, we're with the family trying to set up a time to go over to Mimi and Poppy's to watch it, and my parents have never missed a game. They've been to every single game my entire life, and it's just, there's never been a day that I ever said, I don't want to go to practice today.
At the top of the 18 box, and Chafin swipes at it with their left foot and scores from way out front. Summer Chafin gives Oklahoma State a 2-0 lead.
can still feel your tiny hand tucked safely inside of mine. Hear the joy in your laughter, I feel the sadness in your tears. I watched you learn and grow, each moment moving you away from me. I will always see the boy in the man you have become. I will always see the boy in the man you have become.
I was born and raised in Lubbock, Texas till I was 8, and then me and my mom moved to Tulsa. Life was awesome. Was finally able to start playing football. Went from a private Christian school to one of the biggest public schools in Oklahoma. The first day or week of school at Jinx, we were going over the agenda, and I was very confused because I didn't see Bible time on there. So I raised my hand and asked about it, and my teacher said, "Oh honey, we don't do that here." And then I had to go home and ask my mom about it because I thought everywhere had Bible time. It's been me and my mom for most of my life, and it's been such a blessing from the Lord because she's just so strong and sacrificed so much for me, and like I could never do enough to repay her for the way she suffered in different ways to protect me and provide for me, but I'm gonna try every day to pay her back for that.
Always see the boy in the man you have become. I will always see the boy in the man you have become. In the man that you become.
It was the summer going into my sophomore year, so Bailey's summer going into her senior year. She was starting to look at different colleges and universities and stuff that she wanted to go visit, and so everybody was saying that Oklahoma State is the Texas A&M of Oklahoma. So Mom decided to take her on a visit there. Well, we found out that there was going to be a soccer camp at the same time that they were planning to go on a visit. So Mom came up to me and she was like, "Hey, do you want to possibly kill two birds with one stone?" I was like, sure, why not? And I just remember as soon as we were driving in to Stillwater the very first time, thinking this is gonna be where I end up. I knew that that's where I wanted to go, and that's where I wanted to play soccer at. I mean, it was obviously just the Holy Spirit saying, okay, this is where you're gonna be.
When I moved to Tulsa, I made some friends with some guys, and they were OSU fans, and I was like, this seems right. And all the OU fans are mean. So I sided with OSU, even though they did get beat most of the time by OU in football, but it just showed the true character of fans on both sides. I'll just say that.
Some of the hardest years, but some of the best years and the most fruitful, God-fearing friendships I've ever had were made in that locker room. And then, of course, another amazing thing that happened to me there was that I met Parker.
Two really great things came out of my time at Oklahoma State, and that was Summer Chafin and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. The first night we became friends is what I've told many people to be one of the most disastrous games in kickball history.
It's April 11th, 2022. We were playing kickball, and it was me, Peyton Vincey, and Emma Ledbetter, and we were all injured. I was in a boot, and at the end of FCA, everybody wanted to play kickball. Parker says we were the infielders. I think we were the outfielders because I think that we probably would have stood, and I'm pretty sure we did stand where we knew we weren't going to get any action, which would have been the outfield, and I think that he was the infield because then he would have. Anyway, we were playing kickball.
A very crucial moment in the game. It was after an FCA meeting, and I was in the outfield, and her and her two teammates were my infielders.
And I remember we left early because we were hurt, we were bored.
And so someone kicks the ball deep, So I run over to it and I get it and I turn to throw it to my infielders and they're just nowhere to be seen.
Why would we stay to play kickball if we were hurt, weren't gonna be able to run, weren't gonna be able to kick? We're really just standing there like bumps on a log, wasting space for our team. So we figured that the team didn't really need us, so we left.
Yeah, just disastrous. So me being the responsible person in FCA leadership that I am, I put them all in a message on Instagram that night. And, you know, just called out their communication skills being D1 athletes and well, they were already friends, but I became actual friends with them after that point rather than just acquaintances.
Well, later that night, me, Peyton, and Emma get a DM from Parker, and he starts dogging on us about our lack of communication skills because we left in the middle of the game and apparently our team lost, but no, who cares, because it wasn't really my team because I wasn't there. I kind of thought he was cute, but it also seemed to me like he was flirting with Peyton, who was in the group.
Which is not true.
So I was like, okay, well, he's kind of flirting with this other girl.
Which is not true.
I'm not trying to be second servings or whatever that phrase is called.
I was not flirting with Peyton Vinci.
Anyway, so I kind of dropped it, didn't really think about it. Well, that was, of course, in April, so not too long after that. We continued talking just as a group, becoming friends in that little group chat.
Summer told me that before, like, we really got to know each other later on, that she just knew me as, like, the funny, nice FCA guy. And so I guess up till that point, that's all she had to go off of, and the other friends liked me, so they're like, all right, I guess we'll all befriend this guy together.
Maddie, Mason, and I were on a three-way phone call, and they were talking to me, and they were essentially saying that my standards were way too high. And so they were naming off a bunch of these people that they were like, well, what about so-and-so? What about so-and-so? And for every single person, I was like, well, no, they're way too quiet. They're not fun enough. They're not, you know, they're not funny. They're not outspoken enough. They're not outgoing. They're not, you know, all these list of things. And so finally, Maddie was like, well, Summer, what about Parker? And I was like, I mean, he's cute. And then the conversation kind of ended there. But Maddie and Mason were kind of, at that point, we're like, well, what's not to like? You're not saying anything about why you don't like him, so what's not to like? I was like, yeah, okay. And then later that week, Trinity had said something about how she thought Parker and I would go good together. And then Olivia and Braden had said something about how Parker was a great guy and how he had met Braden and how they were doing Bible studies together.
The reason she really gave me a chance was because 3 of her different friends like talked about my good character and love for the Lord, so shout out to those 3.
Fast forward to senior year. Trinity was getting ready to share her testimony for the first time at an FCA event on campus of Stillwater. Parker was also there because at the time he was president of FCA.
Yeah, so everybody's excited to see everyone coming back from break. So I turn and I look, and here comes Summer walking in. She's like, Parker, and I'm like, Summer. And so we give each other a hug. I'm like, oh, that's no normal hug. She knows.
Okay, here's the thing. He has this in his beautiful little mind as it being the first FCA back.
I remember the scene because I was there.
And him going, Summer! And I go, Parker! And I run up and give him a big old hug. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying I don't remember it.
He remembers it as like the main thing that made him realize you liked him.
So let's recall again. I typically have a better memory.
Okay, whatever.
That's why she's laughing, because she knows it's true.
Not every time.
Most.
Okay.
Anywho,
Continue.
yes, she knew what she was doing. She saw this, just what I perceive to be from what I think you've told me before, big hunk of man before you.
What?
And you're like, See, that's what. And so she saw that. And I was wearing my khaki shorts too, because I was the new president and I had to, you know, wear something decently nice. And I'm sure she was like, wow.
Did you just bite your lip? And so he was getting there and being Parker, doing Parker things, getting everybody riled up and hype and, you know, just being a goof. And he was dancing, and so I was like, okay, because he knew every dance to the church clap. I don't know any of it. So I was like kind of trying to watch him to figure out what exactly I was doing, because I didn't know it and I didn't want to look stupid.
Wait for it. Just hear from over my shoulder, okay, Parker. And I look, and it's little Miss Summer Ann.
Okay, he knows it.
You know, it seems simple, but there's a craft to it. After our first hangout, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. She's awesome. Like, it's just so natural. Like, that's what I really enjoyed about it. Like, the main thing that attracted us to each other was just our love for the Lord, and that we just pursued Jesus in everything we did.
I saw what I could be and said, babe.
I don't know that there were many times when I thought that, oh, this could be it. There were a couple times when we would be just with a lot of our friends or be with our family, and I kind of thought that it would happen in Dallas just because all of my family is here. But when it didn't, I was like, oh, okay. So I honestly thought that it was gonna happen over Christmas break. It obviously happened before then.
Got the ring, got that in, I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna ask her. And then she just randomly is like, are you gonna do your senior photos? And I'm like, well, I wasn't planning on it. And she was like, my dad can do it for free. And then I started thinking, I'm like, I think we can make this happen.
So we were kind of planning for Mom and Dad to come in town to take his photos. And so I knew that Cindy was gonna be coming in town, so I was like, oh. Like when we first were planning, I was like, oh, everybody would be in Stillwater. Might not be the worst time to propose.
Summer rarely gets real dressed up and never gets her nails done.
I never get my nails done, ever.
So I knew that her getting her nails done was gonna be the hardest thing to, like, try to not get her tipped off that she was about to get proposed to.
So at that point I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening this weekend. I don't know when this weekend, but it's happening this weekend.
Her getting her nails done, she was tipped off a little bit. She didn't know for sure I was asking, but you know, it's a tall tale sign, because she always said she wanted her nails done when she was getting proposed to. So.
Telltale,
Yeah.
not a tall tale.
A what?
You said a tall tale sign.
What?
It's a telltale sign.
Telltale?
T-E-L-L, tail, telltale.
A telltale sign.
Not a tall tale.
Not a short tail either. A telltale. So, we do some of my senior pictures on campus, and then Summer takes some with me.
I was like trying so hard to pick out and see if he was nervous at all, and he would not give me any hints. There were no hints.
And I was like, you know, that sun sets on that Neal Patterson Stadium real good.
And then it continued to not to happen, so I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's not happening. And then we get to the soccer stadium.
So I knew that it'd be kind of the perfect transition in life to propose to her on the field.
We walk in, and it was all fine and dandy, and so Parker and I, start posing as weird as humanly possible, because that's just us.
You know, we do take some of those goofy photos together where I'm cheering her on and stuff.
Having fun with it. And then finally he takes my hand and we like start kind of walking back toward the stadium, and the sun always sets behind the stadium.
I'm like, okay, let's start walking towards the sunset. And so Mr. Chafin and others were behind us taking photos while we're walking towards the sunset. And I'm like, let's stop for a sec, because it'd be like a cool picture of like you just laying your head on my shoulder.
And then he kind of stops, and then he starts talking to me. I'm like, and at that point I was like, oh my gosh.
I remember I had completely forgot what I was gonna say.
And I honestly blacked out. I don't remember anything that happened after that other than him starting the conversation the same way that he started the conversation about him asking me to be his girlfriend.
A part of it was I asked her in the same way how I asked her to be my girlfriend, and the aspect of, I'm gonna ask you a question twice and clarifying what that means to have a godly relationship and stuff as husband and wife. So then I got down on a knee and proposed.
And I honestly blacked out.
She said yes, because she's crazy.
I don't remember exactly what he said. Couldn't tell you. I do remember saying yes, so that's good. And then I turned around after I said yes, and there was a big sign on the video board that they had gotten set up that said,
She said yes, goal by Parker, assist by Summer.
And that was really cool.
Caroline Dill, one of Summer's teammates, she was up in the press box just waiting for her to say yes. And then she clicked the button and then put it on the screen. So I was like, turn around. It was like Extreme Makeover or Home Edition. So I was like, move that bus. There wasn't a bus, but I just told her to turn around.
Just because okay, now I'm gonna start crying. Because so many memories for me had happened on that field. And so it was just really special that he did it in a place that was so special for me, and that he was always my biggest cheerleader at. And then after that, we got to go to an Airbnb where all of our friends were there to celebrate us. And I remember as soon as we drove up, I was like, okay, well, like, it's just gonna be like the family and whatnot. And then as soon as I saw Maddie's car, I started crying because I was like, oh my gosh.
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, she has no idea there's like 25 other people's cars just down the street. And then we walk in there, everybody's like, surprise!
And so then we walk in and all of our friends are there, and then it was just a really cool night of having all of our friends there to celebrate us.
Yeah, it was pretty phenomenal.
I think I wanna marry you. Just say I do. Tell me right now, baby. Tell me right now, baby. Baby, just say I do. Tell me right now, baby. Tell me right now, baby, baby. Oh, the look in your eyes, or is it this dancing juice? Who cares, baby? I think I wanna marry you.
Parker, by the time we're watching this, we get married tomorrow. I've been praying for you since I was like too young to remember.
Well, Summer Ann, I heard you talked for 5 minutes. You know, I like talking a lot. I'm not gonna try to beat you. I know you would if you were in my shoes just because of how competitive you are, but thinking about how this is going to be shown at the rehearsal dinner and that we're going to be getting married the next day, like, man, that's just sending butterflies all up in me, and just puts a smile on my face that I can't wipe off.
I distinctly remember when I was in high school, there was a sermon series, and it talked about how every decision you make leads you closer or further away from the altar, and so that never left my mind. And so I remember not long after that, I wrote down a bunch of things I wanted in a future husband. I wanted somebody that was going to be wise, kind, give good godly advice, somebody who's great with kids, who is fun, respectful, and forgiving, and gives a lot of grace, because Lord knows I need it. And even in that first time that we were sitting at Golden Dragon, that just oozes out of you. And I remember when we first started dating, every single thought was about how lucky I was to get to take ground for the kingdom by your side.
We're about to take some ground for the kingdom. I'm so excited, and I thank you for who you are, and just who you've been to me, and how understanding you've been, and how loving and gracious and kind and compassionate you've been. And yeah, like I said, I like talking, so I can go on for 50 minutes, especially when it's talking about you, Summer. Love you with all my heart, always and forever.
For a year and a half, it's been, just getting to take ground for the kingdom as a dating couple, but starting tomorrow, we get to start taking ground for the kingdom as husband and wife. And
how good is our God that we're able to come together as two believers who just love Him and love each other and are really together because we love Him so much.
You're the biggest blessing to me. You are my absolute best friend, which I know is so cliche.
He's gonna bless us so abundantly in different ways that I just can't wait to pursue Him and pursue you every single day for the rest of our lives.
At the end of every single day, you're the only person I want to talk to. You're the person that I want to laugh with.
See, you just can't get this smile off my face. I'm just so happy.
When I need to cry, you're the only person that I want to cry to.
Man, clock's ticking down, and we're gonna do this thing tomorrow.
And I can't wait for all of the years that the Lord has in store for us together. And I just can't wait for the rest of my days with you. I love you.
I love you, babe. God bless. Go Pokes. We'll see you tomorrow on that altar. So, is it an altar? Yeah, I mean, it's a venue. We'll call it an altar. We're gonna have Pastor John Talley up there, and yeah, we'll call it an altar.
Every day's not Valentine's, but you make it feel like most of the time. When I'm all alone with you, picking up pieces of my life, sometimes there's ones I just can't find, but they found a home with you. Whoa, I'm not afraid to be alone, but being alone is better with you. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa, life is better with you. Whoa, whoa, life is better with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better with you. Some days are better than other days, but these days, life is better with you. Some days are better than other days, but these days, life is better with you. Life is better. Tell me what you want
wanna give you all that you need with my heart and my hand, saying please, baby, please, because nobody does that thing you do better than you. And thoughts to swim around in my head of all the words that we ever said. My favorites remain, I love you. Whoa, I'm not afraid to be alone. Being alone is better with you. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better. Every day's not Valentine's, but you make me feel it most of the time with you. And all my life I've tried to find the one who makes me feel the way you do. Some days are better than other days, but these days life is better with you. Some days are better than other days, but these days life is better with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Yes, it is. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa. Life is better with you.
Okay, what's your favorite thing?